Hello everyone, welcome back. Sorry for the strange angle. I'm in a hotel filming this video, so again, apologies for the lighting, everything like that. Hopefully it sounds good. I'm on a camera I don't very often use. We're doing Am I the Arsehole today? So let me know if you think these people are the arseholes down below. Do subscribe to this reaction channel, this commentary channel, for more videos like this. Shall we just get into it? Let's see what we're faced with today. A lot of reading. I have to do a lot of reading. Am I the arsehole for making my wife, who gave birth 7 months ago, feel unattractive over poop? Here's what I'm gonna pre-guess. Yes, you're the arsehole. People poo when they give birth, right? It's a fact of life. Everyone shits. Excuse me. Everyone poos. Now imagine trying to push out a baby. You're going to tell me you're not going to go for a poo. Anyway, it's been over 7 months since my wife gave birth to our daughter. When we came back home, it was I need lip balm. When we came back home, it was obvious that my wife had extreme difficulty and pain in passing bowels. Of course. Without telling me back then, she took hot water baths in the tub with some salts and literally pooped inside the tub. One day, I found out what she was doing when I asked her if she took a bath the second time that day, when she confessed. I admit, at the time, my reaction was very visceral, since I had just had a milkshake at the time. Where's this going? Since I just had a milkshake at the time, I went rushing to the loo and threw up. Oh my god, get a fucking... Anyway, I don't know, I just felt very violated, I guess. Like I was showering and taking a bath in the same tub every day, probably after my wife pooped in the thing. My wife was very apologetic about this, but I sort of understood where she was coming from, yeah. But it really put me off from her. Since then, I have been showering in the guest room every day, and my wife and I haven't been sexually active, despite her trying to initiate for the past 2 to 3 months. I never tried to make her feel bad about what she did, and I try my best to have tact and empathy for her and act accordingly. However, I can't control how I feel. I truly feel disgusted by her and can't see her in the same way. This man. Weirdly enough, I don't get grossed out when I have to change my baby's diaper or clean her poo in her little bath or when she pees her clothes, and I really don't want to get in a debate about why I'm having double standards. I really cannot control this. My wife caught onto it, and last night I laid it all out to her. Oh my god. She started yelling at me and told me I'm trying to lower her self-esteem and her already sensitive body image issues, and on top of that, I'm trying to make her feel like she's yucky and unhygienic. I was trying not to take it personally, and I didn't react much to what she said, which made her even more upset. Truth be told, I was just stunned and didn't know what to say without being offensive. Listen, if your wife gives birth to a child, and if she needs to sit in the bath to have a poo, something you can do any fucking time you want as a guy who hasn't given birth, then you should want the best for her. You should want her poos, and I'm not even saying this to be funny, to be pain-free for her, right? Like, why would you not want that? Why would you not want her to just have, like, be comfortable? She just pushed a child out. Arsehole, in my opinion. Let's see what everyone else says. I get being grossed out in the moment she told you. I don't blame your initial reaction, but it's been 7 months. Your bathtub has been sanitized since then. Yeah, your wife did what she had to do. The problem is that months have passed and you have not found any coping mechanisms to deal with your disgust. In the meantime, your wife's postpartum body repulses you. She went through a massive medical ordeal and you're playing the victim. Get therapy if that's what it takes to get over your poop phobia. 100%, you're the arsehole, it says at the bottom. I agree, 100%. I don't necessarily agree with the first bit. I get being grossed out in a moment. You should have been coming up with ideas. I know this sounds strange, and I'm not a parent or a partner of anyone who's given birth, but you should have been thinking, right, how are we going to stop your poos from hurting? So what? She needs to have a shit in the bath, have a shit in the shower. You know what I mean? You're the arsehole, play reverse Uno. You just had a major medical event to create a child for you and your wife. It made you physically destroyed so much that hopefully, temporarily, and possibly permanently, you have to do extra work just to poop. Exactly. Nothing feels comfortable. You are in great pain. Your partner shows no concern over your health, doesn't help with researching solutions. Exactly. Just vomits when they hear about it and refuse to work on how to love and desire you again for their own mental block about it or be supportive. You watch them be a good mother. And in pain, physically and emotionally, you just deal with it feeling disgusting and alone. Yeah, dude, empathy is lacking so hard. I can't believe you know what loving anyone entails, except that you apparently love the baby. I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. I think this is awful, awful. I really can't say much more than grow up. You're the arsehole it starts with. This is a postpartum issue, and you just made her feel worthless over it. If you want your marriage to survive, get over yourself. Apologize to your wife and do things to make her feel better about herself. You know what even strikes me even more is that people like this need a second opinion. Your wife has told you made her feel like shit. Fact is, you made her feel like shit. Doesn't matter if you're right or wrong in what you said. I mean, you're wrong. But you know what I mean? Oh, I need to say as well, I'm extremely tired. It's the end of the day. It's 10 o'clock. 9 o'clock, what's 21 in 24 hour? Whatever that is. So my eyes are probably a little bit red. My reading is probably struggling a little bit. But I'm pushing through. I can read. It's not that hard. Am I the asshole for possibly encouraging my best friend, male 29, to kiss me, female 29, while his fiance was out of town? Right, I'm going to say the situation here takes two, right? It takes two. So you're technically both the asshole. But let's see. I know my now ex-best friend for almost 10 years. We met at university and instantly clicked. People always told us that we should be together because we were so compatible. There were a few months where things would go quiet. If either one of us was in a relationship, more quiet from him than me. But overall, we spoke almost every day or at least chatted online. It was so easy since we lived in the same accommodation, so we visited and slept over in each other's rooms often. Nothing ever happened, although sometimes it would be a little tense. I do believe at some point we liked each other, but neither of us ever did anything about it for different reasons. After graduation, we had a row. I told him I always felt like a side piece because of the way he treated me as somebody who would always be there while his girlfriends come and go. That happens with anyone in relationships, any gender, right? Sometimes you get those friends that kind of like ignore you for their new partner, you know, who's gone within like 2 weeks later. We stopped talking for a bit and reconnected recently and have been hanging out quite a bit. Been able to get into the ease of it pretty well. He told me he was engaged, and I have been very happy for him and do really love his fiancée, but I had noticed some weird behavior. Okay, let's see how weird this is. Is it weird enough to be like, yeah, cheating's fine? Let's see. He would only want me to come over to his place during our hangouts and would always conveniently do it while his fiancée is traveling or for work. Okay. But males and females can be friends. It doesn't have to be a thing, but they have had tension. Okay. Or if I ever invite them both to something, he would show up alone and say she was busy. Oh, it was a bit of a long one, sorry. I never thought of him as anything less than a good person, so it didn't bother me much. But at a recent night of us hanging out, we just drink and chat in his apartment, I was talking about my own love life, which has been a bit rough. Had a pretty bad breakup after a few years together, and I mentioned I didn't want to find anyone new online as I tried dating apps and are a bit more traditional romantic, and that was when he came up and kissed me. Where's the bit where she made him? I don't remember his explanation because I was focused on leaving, but it has something to do with our history and how he was always too afraid. I did have strong feelings for him in recent times, so maybe I'm at fault too for even entertaining these hangouts. I've always acted completely platonic and tried my best to be in his life as a friend and nothing more. Most of whatever feelings I did have for him have now been replaced with anger, mostly on how he could have done that to his fiancée. I have him blocked wherever I can. I have sent him a lengthy message telling his fiancée what happened. She left me on red, but I guess whatever happens is between them. I'm just sad and angry about how everything played out and heartbroken over losing someone I loved over something so unforgivable. Did I encourage him by agreeing to reconnect and hang out with him? How do I move on? I'm a bit disgusted with myself as well. I feel like I brought this on somehow, but also feel a little hopeful for our future. Would like to stop this. Am I the arsehole? That's a bit confusing because it seems like it was a both of you situation. But I wouldn't say you made him, right? Comments? Help? Not the arsehole. You did nothing to initiate, and he definitely was using you as a side piece. You're both the arsehole. Oh. That's a bit confusing, because you can't say you made someone kiss you when you didn't physically grab them, hold them against your face, or ask them for it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say it's your fault in any way. If there's tension, he can't control himself around, having a fiance. You only have yourself to blame, the guy. It's you know what I mean? I don't know. I can't really speak to that much. Let me know what you think of that one, because I don't think it was her fault at all, though. A guy can't kiss you and be like, oh my god, was that my fault? No. Okay, am I the asshole for not removing sensitive books and making fun of my sister-in-law's education? I live with my fiance in a 1-bedroom apartment. It's quite small, and we don't have an office. We have a bedroom, living room, bathroom, and kitchen, plus a little balcony. Cute. That means that our books stand in the bookshelf in the living room. That's what a bookshelf is. My fiance is a historian, a proper historian. He has a degree and works at university teaching classes. Okay, so like a proper one. His field of expertise is Germany from 1930 to 1960. That obviously includes the most infamous person of that time. Oh, and the book he wrote while imprisoned. Oh, didn't know that was a thing. We have those books. It's 2 massive books that are heavily noted and contextualized historically, as you cannot buy the thing as is anywhere. It also says so in the title. Besides that, we don't have any souvenirs from that time. We have a lot of other books, articles, etc. laying around. So on Friday, we had my brother and his girlfriend over. It got too late and we invited them to stay on our couch. The next morning, the girlfriend was in a horrible mood, refused to talk to us, and made my brother leave after coffee. Then on Sunday, my brother calls to talk and confronts me with the books they found. He said it was highly inappropriate, those books don't belong in the household, and that we needed to put them away when guests come over. I was just puzzled because my whole family knew what my fiancé did. He then said I owe his girlfriend an apology, and he wanted me to show him how we deal with my fiancé's issue. I just told him this was all very ironic, and this is where I might be the asshole. That's a difficult situation. So I understand historically, if you're a historian, you want to know everything. The good, the bad. Someone has to keep history on everything, right? And if this guy, we all know who we're talking about, writ something, it may be a good historical insight. You know what I mean? I understand having that and analysing the history, right? Is it important to history? But then I also understand if I walked into a house and there was a book on the table and it was like Hitler's diary, I would be a little bit like, what the fuck? I don't feel comfortable in this, with that thing. But it's coming from, I don't know. But then also the girlfriend, does she have some kind of cultural or like some kind of reason why she'll be really offended by this? We have to think of that way too. Let's see what everyone's saying. Not the asshole. It's your home and your books. Guests don't get to dictate what is and isn't appropriate in someone else's home, especially if it's career related. I do agree with that to an extent, but if you walk into someone's house, if I walked into someone's house and they had something offensive sitting around, and I don't mean offensive as in like the book on nipples, do you know what I mean? I mean offensive as in that could be offensive to a group of people, I would be offended. And I would be a little bit like, okay, these people aren't my people. Not the asshole. Your brother and his girlfriend are the reason why no one takes social and sensitive problems seriously, and that the people who really know about these issues can't say anything without someone screaming woke to dismiss them. I thought everybody knows that this book is only legally available if you can justify, that it's for historical researchers and other things like that, okay? And knowing your fiance's work, this is obviously how it got there. Grammar got to there. Also, this is your house. Even if you were an asshole who had this book because you agree with it, which would make you an asshole, they would still be an asshole to tell you to hide the book, and also for being more concerned about hiding this book than the political beliefs. Yeah, I kind of don't agree with it. I feel like if you're going to have something offensive laying around, then I think it's good to pack it away. You know what I mean? Like if you have loads of kids coming around and you have a painting of someone's like full-on penis on the wall, I think it's kind of a good idea to hide it. Not that penises are comparable. You know what I mean. I feel like if you know something could be potentially offensive, I feel like if you're not an asshole, you would care. You would care. I think that's a depending situation. Like, it depends on who's seeing it. Am I the asshole for telling my sister, oh my god, that her life is my biggest nightmare? I'm going to start straight off by saying, might not be the asshole, you might be right, but there's a way to say these things, right? I, 27 female, have an older sister, Cara, 45 female. We have a big age gap. But we're still quite close, and she's basically like another parent for me. And we got much closer when our mum died when I was 14. Cara basically raised me and is very cooperative. No, it's not. Overprotective. But in the past, I have asked her to give me some space. Fair enough, right? I've always been career focused and dated casually, nothing long term. Nothing wrong with that. Most of my friends are married and some with kids, so we're all at different stages of life. That's quite young to be, or 27, 30, I guess not. Still quite young. My one and only serious relationship beyond 2 months was with my ex-fiance, Ted. However, we broke up last year. I struggled to move on and only started recently casually dating, but I miss Ted, so I can't commit to anything. Cara helped me through the breakup, but she wanted me to get back together with Ted. That's not for anyone else to decide. Where are we? Ted. As she really liked him and even suggested that I pass up the job for him. No. Cara really wants me to settle down like she has, and I just think we are too different in that sense. It doesn't say sense, but I think it should. She is a SAHM, I'll put that, whatever that means, to 3 kids and basically raising a 4th as her husband doesn't lift a finger around the house and will kick up a fuss if the house is messy or there's no food on the table. I don't like my brother-in-law at all and have encouraged Cara to discuss with him about getting him to help around the house. That seems like basic couple things, right? Cara called me again last night to encourage me, oh my god, about starting to date again. Why is that so important for people? And that she's set up a blind date for me? No, and honestly, I feel like that's the only thing we've spoken about for the past few weeks. She says she just wanted me to be happy like she is. But then I told her that her life is my biggest nightmare. She got upset and said I was being too harsh. I do think that's really harsh. I mean, there's a lot of people's lives who look at you like, I couldn't do that. But that's their lives and they're happy with their lives. You know what I mean? I think that's I do think it's a bit strange that people put so much happiness and energy into dating and being like, hey, it's time to settle down. You have to live like this. You have to do this. I do find that strange, especially in this year. And she's in this time we're in, and she's only, 27? There's settling down and being happy, and then it's just settling down for the sake of it. And it does seem that this person talking thinks that her sister, Cara, has done that, settled down for the sake of it. So I think she's a tiny bit of an arsehole, but I get the frustration. Let's see what everyone has to say. I mean, yeah, you're the arsehole for saying it like that. Your sister raised you while also dealing with your mother dying. That's a lot. That's true. Original posted, your sister probably did a lot more for you than you all know. To say her life is a nightmare is absolutely awful. It sounds like you want her to step back, but it will take a while for her to do so when she feels responsible for you in your mother's stead. I don't know what that means. She seems to know her husband is an issue, okay? This could be her trying to convince herself it's not that bad. Why didn't you really talk about your concerns about the brother-in-law? I think she has. Change the dynamic. If you want her to stop acting like a mum, then start acting like a sister. Good point. As for her being concerned about you being married, do you ever consider that she might be worried what will happen to you if she were to die? This is kind of clutching at straws. Valid point, but also we don't know. How old was your mother when she passed? Is your sister a similar age now? Something to think about, original poster. This is more than just a conversation. Edit. Jesus Christ, did not expect so many upvotes. Oh, just to be clear, original post is right to feel frustrated, but I think the way she reacted in the situation makes her the asshole. Sister is being invasive and very pushy, 100%, so maybe it's ESH. Equally shared asshole. I think that's what it means. I do think both original post and sister are coming from a place of love, so I hope they can make up. Yeah, I find it strange, even when mothers are like, you should settle down, and you should... I do find that also strange. So not so, so it's almost more stranger when it comes from a sister, because it's like, don't you just want me to be happy? You know? Gentle, you're the arsehole. You could have said it better. I can understand the frustration of her pushing the idea of happiness on you, but you could have found a way to communicate that without sounding judgy of her life choices. Exactly. I'm glad you're happy, but the things that make you happy aren't the same for me. I want different things, and I hope you can understand that. If you want me to be happy like you are, help me figure out how to achieve the things I want, rather than the things that you think you need, that you think I need. That's a good, yeah, I like that. That's a good way to say it. Let me know your opinions down below. I don't know if I've had some kind of beauty filter on this whole, like, I can see myself in this monitor here and a tiny monitor here, and my lips look really red. I am wearing contacts and my eyes look really big, but my lips look really red. Is it like over? Okay, I'll have to see when I upload to the computer. Anyway, thank you so much, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye.